Hello, wrestling fans. My name is Blake Smith, and welcome to another episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review for AEW Dynamite from Los Angeles, California. To open the show, we had an epic trios match. It is the new AEW World Champion with FTR versus Max Caster and the Gun Club. He makes his way to the ring for the first time ever and does the crowd dive that he did when he first debuted, and he welcomes his partners. Their opponents may not know what is about to happen to them as they throw some shade, as they always do, and then get in the ring with the champs. They try their best, they really do, but after getting surprised at the start, FTR starts to roll and then tag in the world champ. He seems to be a bit tired from his match, but he doesn't care. He works through it, and he and FTR work well together, controlling the Ass Boys and Caster. The Guns get some revenge wearing down Dax, but he quickly makes them pay, dumping them to the outside, and then seems as though FTR will get going again, but the Guns and Bowens on the outside keep cheating, stopping any momentum. Dax slowly comes back and makes the hot tag to the champ as he slips, but he doesn't care. He seems to take them out anyways, and Punk takes out Austin with the FTR, a GTS big rig combo for the win. After the match, the champs get on the mic and Punk says that he is the champ now, and he knows he still has work to do, and he can be called whatever he wants. You can love him or hate him, but you have to call him the champ. Says he's never done drugs, but he's sure that this is the feeling that it feels like. Dax confirms that for him and then says that being the ROH champs is so important to him and Cash, and they want to take on I believe it's the United Empire for jumping them. Punk then says he wants to know who he has at Forbidden Door, and Hiroshi Tanahashi makes his way out and seems to lay down the challenge. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. That was awesome. We then get MJF. I'm sure by now you've all seen / heard. He goes off, and I'm not sure how much of it was a work versus how much of it was a shoot or what. I don't really know. I just know it was one of the best damn promos I've ever seen. He talks about being in a lot of pain after what happened on Sunday and says this isn't, he's going to talk, but it's not going to be MJF. It's Max Friedman, even though his real name is Feinstein. Says that, there are a lot of big execs in the back, and he would hate to embarrass Tony, and says that Tony wants to talk and it's too late. He had his right he had to write his own ticket here, and he did it just that and gets no respect. Says no one is on his level and there is nothing he can't do. He has to be perfect because he's the 26-year-old that's been carrying the company, and MJF's asked why everyone's been calling him a piece of shit. And now he doesn't want to be here anymore, so the boys in the back can just have his spot. Says the fans' opinions mean nothing because they know nothing. Says that he is the best in the world because he makes you feel, and he doesn't have to do bullshit to do it. He's taken for granted and is sick of it, and if you can ask Tony all the stats in the world, don't ask him to pay the guy who built this place. No, he'll pay all the WWE guys and asks if he would be treated better if he was an ex-WWE guy. Then tells Tony he should just be a fan, and then tells Tony to fire him. And his mic cuts out and goes dark. The whole screen goes dark. They come back and it's as if nothing happened. I have no idea what's going on. Obviously, there was some footage backstage or released later showing Punk coming out and talking to MJF or something. But yeah, for my WTR scale, I gave that a great. We then get Johnny Elite has signed an open contract, they said, to challenge anybody. It has been accepted by a returning Miro. Says he's returning to redeem everyone here, to bring him back to the kingdom of heaven. Says his neck of sand has been fixed, but his heart is broken. Talks to his God and says he doesn't want to come home. He wants to take his. Well, Johnny, good luck to you. Miro looks pissed off. Johnny knows he will have to cut the big man down if he has any hope of winning, but Miro starts to club Johnny down. Miro then starts to toss Johnny around. Every move Miro delivers is with authority. He just wants to inflict pain on the man and proves to everyone that he is better than ever. Johnny then does start to roll for a moment, but he walks right into a pump kick, and Miro then locks in the game over for the win. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. We then get the JAAS making their way to the ring to talk about what happened at the Anarchy in the arena. Cool Hand Angelo Parker talks first and says that the AEW Galaxy should appreciate them. Magic Matt Menard then tells them they are the princes of Pape. Jericho then has a smug look on his face and tells everyone, the fans, winning the match was a huge price among everything. Eddie tried to burn him, and what kind of man does that? I don't know. You did, 2 weeks ago? Jericho says it doesn't matter what happened, they won. Like always, no matter what happens, anytime it's sports entertainers versus pro wrestlers, sports entertainers always win. Eddie Kingston and William Regal come out and says he's going to fight them no matter what, and tells Regal to tell them where he would like to fight them. Regal then says, in blood and guts. Jericho says there's no way that will happen, but Jericho and Kingston, he sends the whole JAS out to jump Kingston, and Ortiz comes out behind Jericho and jumps Jericho and cuts a huge chunk out of his hair. Jericho then says if they want blood and guts, they can have it, but first he wants a hair versus hair match against Ortiz. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. That has such great potential, though, those two matches. I cannot wait. We then get Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal are shown backstage beating down Samoa Joe with a chair, and they put his arm in the chair, and they send him flying into, I believe it was a wall or something. And for my WTR scale, I gave that a good. It seems like we're running this story for a little while. We then get a 10-man tag. The Undisputed Elite versus Jurassic Express, Kristen Cage, Darby Allin, and Matt Hardy. Adam Cole joins commentary to watch what would have been a match that he was in, but instead he and Jeff were replaced by Hikuleo and Darby Allin, respectively. Jeff came out with Matt and then went backstage after they went to the ring. The two teams waste no time making quick tags to each, and Matt and his team start out strong, taking out whoever is in the ring on the other side. Jungle Boy then Hurricane Rana's Bobby to the outside, and we have a dive off. Everyone ends up flying outside besides Matt and Cage, and the Elite takes control, almost toying with Cage now, as they taunt after almost every move. Cage, though, takes out both the Bucks, and Luchasaurus comes in and takes control of everything. The two big men then go at it, and both are out, so they have to tag out, and the pace picks up with Darby. Outside the ring, chaos, and inside the ring, Matt is deleting everyone. Just when it looks like Matt and Jurassic Express were about to win, the Bucks come in with Red Dragon. They take out Matt and Luchasaurus, and the Bucks hit the Meltzer driver on Jungle Boy for the win. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. We are clearly building to the Bucks getting another shot at the tag titles. I don't know that they're going to win it. I think FTR is going to take those titles from Jurassic Express, but we shall see. We then get Swerve in our glory talking about coming so close to winning their match. And Swerve first introduces his entourage and is handed a very nice leather jacket. Then talks about how basketball teams often have multiple great singles performers on one team and seems to be kind of comparing them to that. Lee then says they will win championship gold, whether it's singles or tag. It will happen, and then you will swerve in our glory. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. We then get Athena talking with Tony Schiavone. She says she's finally all elite, and she is here because she knows the competition is great, and she has her eyes set on one thing, the TBS champion. She's going to break Jade's streak. Before she can finish, Jade comes out with Stokely, and he tells us that Jade is a queen and a goddess, and he knows that Athena wants the title match, but not today. Kira gets in her face, and Anna and Chris kind of come out to Athena's side, and they just get separated before really anything happens. I am really excited for this. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. I really want Athena to beat Jade's ass. We then get Wardlow making his way to the ring for the first time as an official member of the AEW roster. He wastes no time picking up where he left off, taking in less than a minute to hit his 2 power bombs and get the win. After the match, Tony talks with Wardlow, but is cut off before he can really say anything. He's handed a summons by Mark Sterling from the American Arena Security Association, and he says he will see Wardlow in court. Wardlow then powerbombs one of the security members for good measure. My WTR scale, I gave that a great. We then get Scorpio Sky talking about facing Dante Martin for the TNT Championship and says there is no chance Dante will take his title. Paige says that if Dante had a few years, he could be on Sky's level, but he only has a few days and stands no chance. Sky goes to snap to cut, but Dante cuts him off and says he appreciates the confidence in his potential, but he thinks he is better now. For my WTR scale, I gave that a good. We then get a rematch, women's tag match, Dr. Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter, Dr. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. And they waste no time going for the hard shots. Toni takes control and she and Ruby are firmly in control to start. Britt and Jamie, though, double team Ruby outside and start to control the pace. Britt and Jamie use whatever advantage they can to try and get the edge, but Ruby and Jamie seem to be able to take it and just come back, as Toni hits the hip attack and then slams Jamie down and tags in Ruby. But Britt then stops the momentum and tries to cheat again, but it doesn't work, and Ruby hits No Future for a near fall, but Britt then rolls it into Lockjaw, which Ruby fights out of, and Britt goes to take out Toni as she was coming up on the apron. Jamie kind of gets in the way as it happens, and it's a distraction. Ruby's able then to hit the Destination Unknown for the win. After the match, Jamie smashes Toni and Ruby with the title that Britt won at Double or Nothing. They then leave, and for my WTR scale, I gave that a great. That was really well done. We then get our main event of the evening, Jon Moxley versus Daniel Garcia, and this is Daniel Garcia's like 7th or 8th main event in AEW history, I think. They didn't say that. That's just me noticing. He's had several on Rampage, and I believe this is his 3rd Dynamite main event as well. So he has been having the year of his life. William Regal and Chris Jericho are on commentary, and Garcia looks to be in a lot of pain after the match on Sunday. Moxley, though, seems to be here for another Wednesday. Moxley quickly takes control and Garcia and wears him down with a couple hard shots and chops. Garcia, though, fights back with a big headbutt and then busts open Moxley's stitches that happened on Sunday. He then traps Moxley's knee in the steps and smashes it into them. And then Garcia is in control in the ring, locking in a figure 4. Moxley fights out, and then on top of the ropes, Garcia bites on Moxley some more and then hits a back body drop. Moxley answers with dropping Garcia on the corner of the steps and then hitting a suplex from the top. Smashing Garcia, and then they both are trying for submissions. It's just crazy. They are so well matched. Garcia almost wins with a pile driver, and they spill to the outside again, but not for long, as Jericho comes down the ramp. Kingston comes sprinting down, and he almost eats shit into the apron. He drags Jericho down and starts smashing him as Moxley is hitting the paradigm shift for the win. Moxley then tells Kingston he's a hard man to love, but if they want blood and guts, they have it. And we are shown that Blood and Guts will be live from Detroit, which I was planning to go to that show, but I will be unable to, so that is very unfortunate. But for my WTR scale, I gave that a great. And that is all. For my overall, I gave it a great. That was an awesome show for after pay-per-view. I mean, we had a few returns. Or no, we had the one return, which was awesome. I mean, we had a few just really great matches, and we got some launching points for some future stories. I'm really looking forward to what AEW is doing in the future, as well as we're building towards Forbidden Door, which is the first time AEW has really had back-to-back kind of pay-per-views. And for my segment of the night, I gave it to MJF. My match of the night is the opening match. They absolutely killed it. And the performers of the night goes to Moxley and Garcia. That was just fantastic. And that is all for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one.